Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here. I am glad to be here. The world is changing, as evidenced by this last week. I was interviewed for a podcast by two young entrepreneurs. And when I say young entrepreneurs, I mean young entrepreneurs. Barely 16 years of age. They've already created and sold a business, are creating new businesses, and not the least of which is a podcast station that they've created. And I'm the number 4th person that they've now interviewed, but it's where they can go out and interview successful entrepreneurs, learn from them, and share what they learn with others. Now, how cool is that? I don't know what you were doing when you were 16 years old, but I reflect back on what I was doing at 16 years old. And that night, in my journal, I wrote down 3 things that I learned from this experience with them. Would you be interested in knowing what those 3 things are? Very simply, number 1, know where you're going. Number 2, be in motion and be relentless. Number 3, be in gratitude through preparation. Let me explain just a little bit. So number 1 was what? Know where you're going. Regardless of, you've always heard it's never too late. Well, it's also never too early. And in their case. So whether it's you or whatever your situation is, just find out what is that bigger vision for you. These young men had a bigger vision for themselves, and they were already putting it with milestones in their lives, their college education, their desire to go out and do philanthropic or service work, missionary work. They already had this vision of where they were going and what they wanted to do, and they were looking for elements to help make them even more successful. So they understood. Now, do you know where you're going? I mean, do you understand what is really bigger? Don't you feel at times that there's something that's out there that's bigger for you and you just can't figure out what it is? Well, I'm going to suggest to you that sometimes we get so caught up in asking what. You know, the Strategic Coach program for entrepreneurs is a phenomenal program. One of the things that they teach is that it's not always about what, it may be about who. So who are the who's that you can surround yourself with that will help elevate your thinking and help you to see beyond it? If you're not an entrepreneur, then you probably should join something like Strategic Coach, where you can surround yourself with like-minded thinkers that elevate you and get you to be thinking differently. There are other programs out there. Empowered Wealth, one of our unique abilities is to be able to sit down with leaders of families and businesses and help them see a future that transcends everything that they're involved with right now, to give them that inspiration and how to make even greater and better decisions, because when you have a bigger future, you can make greater decisions and better decisions in the now. All right, so that's number 1, know where you're going. Number 2 is relentlessly be in motion. Now, these young men decided they wanted to interview me. And so they set about, and they contacted me a half a dozen ways, relentlessly kept after me, till they got what they wanted. They saw a target, a milestone out there, and they went after it. Now, when I was 16 years old, I mean, there's no way that I would have pursued a successful businessman. I don't think. I had the wrong mindset. They're asking the right questions, and they're in motion doing it. So, number 1, know where you're going. Number 2, be in motion. Even if it's the smallest steps, just stay in motion. And then number 3 is be prepared. Now, what I learned from that is be prepared is kind of is in the attitude of gratitude, really, because they were extremely grateful to be here, and they demonstrated that gratitude by how prepared they were. They had researched me. When I talked to them, they asked me questions. I said, "How do you know that?" And they said, "Oh, we've researched you. We've listened to a lot of your Meaningful Mondays. We've gone through and found out more things about you." And so they were fully prepared, and that was, it gave me a great sense of appreciation and acknowledged their preparation, but it made me feel good that they took that kind of time to do it. So prepare is a form of gratitude. So those were the 3 things that I learned from them. I hope this is meaningful to you. I'm interested to hear what you're learning from others. Let's share. Let's build a community that we share together. I'm totally focused on doing that. I'm going to share more about that with you in upcoming Meaningful Mondays. I look forward to doing exactly that. Have a meaningful week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.